Hello everyone, welcome to tim.js, the most amazing JavaScript meetup from Timișoara and also a TypeScript meetup. So I've been asked to come up and cook something for today, so I cooked some AI stuff. I know everybody's excited, everybody talks about it. I know Anka said that ChatGPT doesn't know everything, but I think that's wrong. It knows everything, obviously. So yeah, let's talk about me first. My name is Ciprian Caba. I'm the CTO at Ralph. We are a property management company based in Berlin, a startup, and we are trying to solve property management with vertical AI integration. So basically, we're trying to replace all the nice folks that work for us with AI agents and stuff, which is very exciting and very cool because AI agents are amazing. So, has anyone used this thing over here, ChatGPT? Let's see a show of hands of people who didn't. Okay. So everybody use ChatGPT. It's great. It's amazing. It knows everything. And it also has deep research. So you don't have to do your own research. It can do the research for you. It's amazing. It's great. So you can just ask it questions like, let's see, what's the best JavaScript meetup from Timișoara? Let's see. I haven't tried this before. Let's see how smart it is. Ah, tim.js, nice. Amazing. So unexpected. Cool. Cool stuff. Okay, so, I mean, this is cool. It's great. It gives you like sources of the information. Let's see. X, meetup, dev events. Very cool. But I guess like this is nice. You can always go and you copy paste stuff here. You type your query, your prompt, and you just get a response, which is most of the time useful. But how can you actually use this if you want to use this in your code base? Like you want to know what's the best JavaScript meetup from Timișoara, but from JavaScript. Calling this from your own application. Like you don't want to go here every single time. So the way to do that is you basically install this nice AI package. I mean, you don't have to. Highly recommended though. So every AI provider has their own tools that you can install, their own packages, and it's great. The problem with that is like today ChatGPT is cool, OpenAI is cool, but tomorrow, I don't know, maybe some AI provider from China comes and sweeps everybody off their feet with their much cheaper model, and you just want to switch to that. So then what you need to do, you get a call from your boss saying, look, we need to change to this Chinese stuff. It's really good. Let's do it today. And then you're like, but how, boss? How can I do that? It's just like so many places. I need to refactor it. We need to test it. It's not going to work. But you can be smart about it and you just install AI, which is one AI to rule them all. So basically, the AI package from Vercel is a tool offered by Vercel, and it acts like a proxy for your AI needs. So basically, you want it to generate a response to your prompts, you can just simply go and you install an AI provider that you think might be useful for you. And then because it's a proxy, you basically just use one unified interface and API to call any model that you see here in this list of providers. So the list is pretty comprehensive, and they've been very, very good with adding new models as they pop, which is really great because, I mean, just 2 days ago, like Claude 3.7 shipped, which is amazing, and they added support for it, like, I don't know, 30 minutes after it was launched. So it's pretty cool. And then the only thing you need to do is you go to your code and you say, okay, I don't want to use the OpenAI anymore because it's not cool. I just want to use, I don't know, Mistral because they're from Europe and we want to make Europe great again, which is always a good thing to do. But yeah, this is great. So now let's go to the demo section of my presentation, because we all understand how this AI tool works. It's amazing, it's great, it's very beautiful. All right, so let's say I want to do something more useful with ChatGPT. So let me just open like a new chat here, and I want to give it an essay. And because I'm a lazy person, I don't want to read all of that, and I'm just going to tell it, please make me a summary of the below, maximum 50 words, because I'm a simple tool. Okay. So basically, this is an article that was written by, sorry, light mode. Yeah, you're just going to trust me about it. An article written by this guy called Paul Graham. Maybe you've heard of him. Big, bad VC from the Valley. Basically, talking about like founder mode and how you need to run a startup to make it successful. And then he just wrote like this small essay, which is great. Like I can just go to the website, I take it, and then I go and have like a nice summary of this thing, which is great. But it would be amazing if we could just do it from code. So the way we feed this to our code now is just like this essay text file here. And then I'm just gonna run this simple code. So basically we import the generate text function from the AI package, and then we import the OpenAI SDK provider that is going to be used here. So we are using GPT-4o mini. It's very easy to switch to GPT-4o or like any other model that you want. And then you just run this. This is just going to execute my TypeScript code. It's going to take the content of the text file from here, and it's just going to send it to the 4o model. And then we see the key takeaways that the model found. And now your boss comes, they want to change this to DeepSeek. It's very easy, just change this provider. The interface is the same, everything else stays the same, which is pretty cool. So this is exciting, but it's not very exciting. So something more exciting is what we do at Ralph, where we deal with customer problems. And I mean, I wouldn't call them problems, customers, requests, needs. Yeah, so we have a lot of customers that send us like these nice messages. Ich habe Probleme, mich in meinen Account einzuloggen. That sounds familiar. It's something with logging in the website. Sometimes it doesn't work, but then like, okay, la fonction d'exportation, okay, but I think like that's the best I can do. Like I don't think I can really understand what this is in a million lifetimes. So yeah, what can we do? So I'm just gonna come here, I'm gonna copy paste this in my nice chat over here. I'm gonna tell it, okay, categorize these customer needs. I want to know which ones have priority and which ones, I mean, which category they belong to. So very easy, just pasting the JSON, and then OpenAI is going to do its magic, and then we have this nice stuff. So account access issues, major functionality, okay, that's very cool. So it just sends me like this text, which I guess it's fine if you have 8 issues that you need to deal with. However, how would you use this in your code? Like it's just like a blob of text. Like, are you going to grab this text? Are you going to search through it? Are you going to write regular expressions? The thing is, if I ask the same guy again, the same question, like create a summary of the below. I mean, it should be the same prompt, whatever, but yeah, the idea is that it's going to give me a very different response, and maybe it's going to be formatted in a different way. So ideally, I would be able to just go to a tool which would just be able to do it for me. So let's go back to our AI provider, which is great. We have the generate text prompt. So let's run this thing and see what it does by default. So it's going to work for a bit. It's going to take the requests, and then it did a decent job, I guess. Like, okay, account login issue, export functionality issue, and then so on and so forth. So this is Markdown. It's a bit easier to work with potentially. Maybe not. I still need to somehow parse this stuff. I don't know how to do that. So not sure how many of you have been to my last presentation at tim.js that happened not so long ago about schema and schema-driven development. So if you've been there, I'm a big fan of Zod, basically. So Zod is a tool that helps you validate types in TypeScript. And it can allow you to define the way your data should look in a very expressive way. And then once you define that schema, you can infer the TypeScript types from it, and you can use it to validate runtime payloads, which is pretty cool because, as we know, TypeScript doesn't happen at runtime. TypeScript is just in our heads before we compile the code. So I can do this the easy way or the hard way, I guess. So this is the live coding session that you've been waiting for. Okay, boom. Okay, so you see that I've live coded this thing here, which is now using generate object instead of generate text. So this is basically just a way telling OpenAI to generate you a response that matches a certain schema. And surprise, surprise, in order to define that schema, you don't just talk the schema, you don't just manifest the schema, you define a Zod schema. So you're telling, okay, I mean, the prompt is the same, right? Classify the following support requests. Nothing changed for the prompt. But then you're telling it, like, the response I get from you needs to be an object that has a request, which is the string, so the content of the request. The category is going to be restricted to one of these values from the enum. The urgency is also restricted to the values from the enum, and then like the language of the request, so we know that we need to forward this to the appropriate agent. And then we tell it that the output needs to be an array. So now, if you run this code again, we will see something magic happening, which is basically getting back a JSON array, which is amazing. JSON is so great. So you have this request, and then you have the category, which is account issues. Urgency is medium, like, okay, you can log in tomorrow, no big deal. I mean, product issues, again, medium, but I assume, yeah, this is just sales call. Who cares about sales? Account issues, this is potentially more difficult because if I understand that correctly, it's something about canceling. So maybe let's see a request in English. Again, this is unscripted. It's so exciting because I don't know if that's just gonna work, because it would be amazing if it works. So we can actually understand what the problem is. Oh my God, it actually works. Okay, that's pretty cool. So yeah, we can see that this product issue, I need help integrating our API. I wouldn't call it like that high priority, but basically, yeah, you see, it did a job. It outputted a JSON for you, which is an array, which is great. I mean, exciting stuff. So this response here is just an object that's already typed in TypeScript. You can already use it, and then you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to use this tool to just change everything that you're doing. But I'm sure everyone is thinking now about the use case in their own company, like, oh my God, that would be so cool to use this. So just start using it if you are not using it already. So that was the intro to my talk, and I see we already have questions and interested people in AI. Yeah, let's hear some questions.
Object and not an array of objects.
It can be an array of objects. Yeah, it can be whatever you want. Yes.
Did it infer automatically what to do based on the property name that you added?
Yes. Yes. Oh my God, this is so fun. Yes. Yes. It's just gonna solve the problem for you automatically by creating a magic prompt that just like fills in the gaps, basically, so you don't have to worry about it. Yes.
Questions.
Oh my God. Yes, 3 questions. Yeah, let's hear.
Hugging Face, ability to download and run locally, and agent mode.
So let's just go over them one by one because my memory is not great.
Does it have multimodal support?
Yes.
Right. Can you use a model from Citizen AI or Hugging Face?
You can use any model that you see in this list here.
I saw LM Studio down there. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, they have like the full list over here. So I think it's pretty comprehensive. And I think they also have some other models that are like third parties.
Stable Diffusion, for instance.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I think it supports it because I think they're just like trying to be the go-to tool that you use for this. But I mean, if they're very open and active on Twitter as well, you can just message them if you need support for something. And I'm sure there are like community packages that fill the gap there.
Okay. Agent?
Yes, they have some basic support for agents, but it's not like fully developed yet and it's still in beta. But basically, yeah, you can, I'm going to show you something that is going to be useful with agents a bit later when I get there. Yes.
Does this proxy anything through the Vercel servers, or it's just?
I think it's all done locally in the packages you install. So basically, if you go to package.json, you will see that we have like the AI package, which is this package, and then I have like three providers for it. And then this is the code that wraps everything, gives you the interface, and then this is just the implementation for various models. So I don't think they proxy anything through the Vercel servers. And yes, Anka.
How do you pay for the models you're using? Do you pay through them or?
So you just pay for them, you get your API key, you put your API key in the environment variables, and then this just works basically. So it's not
just hardware.
Can you actually see the request behind the payload?
Yes.
Can you show us or not right now?
I don't know how to do it, but you can see it. But yeah, let me just try. I want to see the actual prompt this call is using. I don't know if this is going to work. Just rolling with it. Probably not. It seems to go on the wrong path. Yeah. You can definitely do it. I think there's some option here to enable it. I never use it, but yeah. Yes. So I think like that code that you actually want to see, it gets generated in the OpenAI package or in the Anthropic package, and basically each provider can implement their own interface. Cool. I'm so happy this is fun. So yeah, let's make it even more fun, I guess. All right, so localhost 3000, our home, one AI through them all. That's so cool. So this is a website written in Next. You don't have to use Next to use this package. They are from the same provider, which is Vercel. Next is cool. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And yeah, oh, fuck me. Sorry. Fuck. That's so bad. Okay, let's fix that. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared with this. Okay, PG. maybe something like this. Oh, fuck. Okay. I don't care about the font. I just want BG. I hope this is, oh, it's so much better. Yeah, I mean, you can still hopefully see, maybe let's just fix that properly. So message list, text, right? Can I force it? Yes, beautiful. Okay, so let's imagine I have a website and then I get lots of comments to my updates, or I get lots of comments on various topics, and then I just don't want to read them all because, again, I'm a lazy person. So what if you could just click a button and you could summarize the entire thread, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And okay, client feedback, next steps, blah, 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 blah. Amazing. We are going to trust OpenAI that it did a great job there. Yeah, let's see how we would go about implementing this. So we would just have like a button that has a state, which is either summarizing or summarize. And then you have a message list with the messages, and the messages are coming from a JSON, which is amazing. So the prompt here lives in a beautiful server action, which server action is in generate summary. So let's see, we're using the already well-known generate object method from AI. We're using the GPT-4o, and we are passing a schema saying, okay, this is what I want my summary to look like. I want headline, the context, some discussion points, and what are the key takeaways, next steps. So you see here that we are introducing describe. So basically, if AI cannot just infer what we want to use there in that specific field, we just describe what we want to have there, and then that's going to become part of the prompt. So yeah, let's change this just so we see that it actually works. So, okay, it was 5 words max, and then this is now 10 words, which is obviously much better. So are there any questions here? Like very straightforward or very easy? We just, yeah, we just go to this page, and then we have the button on click, set loading true, set summary, and we're just waiting for generate summary and then set loading false. These are all going to be batched in one render, which is amazing because we use React 19, which is the latest version of React, not 18, and it's enabled by default. So that's pretty cool. Amazing. Amazing. I'm so happy when live coding sessions just work. Okay, extraction. So what is this? Let's imagine you have this form on your website where someone needs to schedule an appointment. And then for some reason, you don't have a form for that. So you need to interpret like text, maybe from an email, maybe from like an input form that will just automatically figure out when the meeting should be, who are the participants, and so on and so forth. So I want to set up a meeting with, I don't know, Luci to talk about the next presentation he's gonna do at tim.js. This needs to happen tomorrow at noon. I only have 1 hour available. So based on my prompt, it figured out, okay, what's the title? What's the date and time for when this is going to happen? Okay, I will be around Town in Timisoara. And then, boom, just works. And you are wondering, how can this work? Because it's so beautiful. Like I don't have to do anything magic, except then you guessed it. Except, obviously, you already guessed it, just define a schema for my object, and then create an emoji because emojis are cool. And then I have like the start time, end time, attendees, and so on and so forth. So very beautiful, very simple. We have a form. On submit, we just get the form data. We extract the appointment with this server action, and then we set the appointment details, which we know already how they're going to look because the schema is generating us that schema. And then this just works in TypeScript because TypeScript is amazing. Are we impressed or not yet? Yes? Impressed? Maybe? No? Yes? Okay. Pretty impressed. That's pretty cool. Okay. Next step. So I don't want to go to ChatGPT every single time. I'm just going to close this tab. I just want to build my own chat. And you're wondering, man, building a chat is not so simple. Must be very, very difficult to do, right? Like it's so complicated. No, it's very easy. You can literally just have like an input box where you type your input and you just say like stuff like, okay, oh, fuck. Okay, I'm gonna, I was maybe a bit too ambitious about my text white stuff, so let's make it text black. Beautiful. So tell me, how is the weather tomorrow in Timișoara? Oh, fuck. Okay. So okay. Sorry about that. Just gonna fix it properly this time. Okay. So I currently don't have real-time data access, including weather updates, blah, 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 blah. Okay. It tells me what I can do. So I can either go to the BBC weather channel, the weather channel, or like just use my weather app on my smartphone. But obviously I don't want to do that. I want to have a way to fix this in my code and just make it tell me the weather for tomorrow, because I mean, Luci is going to be very excited about talking about his next tim.js presentation, that we need to know, like, yeah, where to meet, how to dress, and so on. So again, you can see here that I'm using a deprecated version of this hook, which, I mean, it's fine, it still works. Basically, you just use chat, and you have a chat, and then it's going to give you like messages, the handlers for the input, and I mean, you can style this any way you want, as you saw me doing in live coding session. In this live coding session, it's amazing, very customizable, and great. However, I still haven't solved my problem. So how can we enable this AI model to get access to the weather from Timișoara or like from any other place in this world? So the answer is APIs. One thing that APIs are still good for is to just connect to them and get data from, I mean, for various people for various reasons. So for this, I'm gonna, let's see. So the way this works, we have the API/chat endpoint here. This is going to generate a chat endpoint for my Next.js application. And then I just have like this stream text from OpenAI. We are converting the messages that we are receiving from use chat, and we are just sending everything. And now I'm going to live code the changes that I'm doing here. And boom, I've live coded this I've now live coded the functionality for this tool. So what's a tool? A tool is a function call, or they have various different names across various different providers. They're basically an API call, nothing more, nothing less. And then for each tool, you define like the name of the tool, which is get weather, and then you give it a description, and then you tell it what parameters it's expecting, and then you have this execute function here. We're still using this amazing AI package. And yeah, one of the ways you can figure out how weather is to call a weather API with the location, and I don't see that it supports different times. So the weather for now is going to be fine. We are just going to infer that the weather still works for tomorrow. But yeah, basically getting a response, we are casting that to like this nice weather data type that I've just created. And then we are going to return from this tool, like a thing that is called, an object that has a temperature, weather code, humidity, and a city, which is great because now when I go back to my UI over here, and then I'm going to ask it, okay, tell me how the weather is in Timișoara. Are you impressed? Yes? No? Maybe? So basically what it did, it figured out that I configured the API to have this tool, basically this endpoint that it can call and get weather information at a location. And then because this has these parameters, the AI can already infer like the city, latitude, and longitude, because if I ask it, what is the latitude and longitude of Timișoara? So it already knows this information just from the base model. And then we just need to use this information to get the weather at the current time, because LLMs, as we know, they don't have real-time access to information. They are just trained on a set of data that is already obsolete once they begin training. So that's pretty cool, right? Okay, yes. If only there was a way to log the prompts, it would be so great. But basically, I think it just creates a prompt. It sends like this tool. So it sends your original prompt, and then it knows, okay, I have these tools available locally. And then you send the prompt, and the prompt is like, okay, what is the latitude and longitude of Timișoara? And then you get the response back. So no tool is involved because you don't need the get weather tool, right? However, if you need the get weather tool, you know that that tool is available, so you send it as part of the prompt and you tell it like, this is my query, these are the tools that I have available. If you can use these tools, use them. If not, just give me the response that you would give me normally. Yes?
So you can basically provide the URL for Google or whatever with the query param, and it can do live search.
My question was that
yes.
Just in the response, it would tell you what query to use and the parameters, and you would follow.
I think this is all part of the AI magic. So the AI package, this is why it's one AI to rule them all. So it's pretty cool. But I see, yes, still have questions. Yes, please. What?
The request to the tool.
If it's done locally or not. Let's see. Seeing is believing. What is the weather like in San Francisco? Beautiful San Francisco. So you see we have two calls, and then this calls. This is better. So yeah, you have the tool name get weather, and then you have the result. So basically it's all part of the initial prompt, and then you just get the response back. On the headers, yes. So it's done here. I think like, yeah, it probably happens not in the browser. It happens on the server side of things. So we could potentially see it here in the server side, because this being the latest and greatest version of React, which is React 19, and using Next.js, this is basically a server component, which means that it not always happens on the client, which is great. So these calls are to the server action, they are not to the actual API. If we really want that, and if we still have some time, we can try to dig it out and see how we can see the actual prompts that are being passed around. But as I said, I see you like this, but you're not very impressed with how this information looks. So let's make that even better. I know it sounds impossible, but let's try. So yeah, let me maybe do some live coding session again. So git checkout. Beautiful. So in the response that I get back from the server, there is this thing called tool invocations, which is deprecated already, but I mean, it's still great. So if I have a tool invocation, basically that means that a tool was involved in this request. So a tool call was involved. Now, because we already have the code here, I'm not going to bother. Boom. But I'm basically just going to map through all the invocations. If the tool name is getWeather, because this is the tool that I know how to interpret, I'm basically just defining this nice weather, excuse me, this nice weather component here that looks amazing. It has like icons, clouds, and stuff like that. And I'm just telling it, okay, look, when you get this tool invocation with the result, I need you to send this thing. Now, this is not typed, which is a shame, but I'm sure like probably the non-deprecated version of this already has that typed, because it should be easy to infer like the tool call from here, and now like the return object has this this shape basically. So now, if a tool was involved when calling this prompt, I will see that the tool invocations has one object, which is an object that has a property, temperature, weather code, humidity, and the name of the city. So let's see how that looks. What is the weather like in Male? Should be dark. Oh my God. Maybe we need to start the server. But it failed gracefully. That's what I wanted to show you actually. So what? Okay. What happened here? We are confused, right? Yes. So let's dive deep. Let's dive deep. So let's do here like JSON stringify t.result. Boom, boom. So this is the response we get back from the server, which is just a JSON. But because you can just pass this JSON to a weather component that, I mean, okay, let's just do this. So if I come here, this is my weather component, right? It has a default to show San Francisco. I'm going to show you the components so you don't freak out. Basically, this is the interface. These are the default values for the parameters, and then you just have this method that just renders various things based on the JSON that you get as input. So we can either choose to show the result that we get from the server as a JSON object, which I know would make some of us very happy. We can also choose to do it with the weather app. And then, why is my cursor not completing this? I'm just going to have to undo it. Beautiful, beautiful. And now, I'm not sure what happened with my styling. What is the weather in, let's choose another city, where? Lugoj. Lugoj for our friend here. Okay, 7 degrees, pretty clear, I guess similar vibes. It's clear sky. It doesn't support like, oh, fuck. Okay. Let's take on this challenge. If the local time is past the sunset, please always show a moon and not a sun in my weather component. Boom. So this is how I code these days. The other thing I do, I just click tab. I'm a tab monkey. Yeah, I wonder how that would work, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still not very comfortable with that. Yes.
One idea, the result is streamed, right?
The result is streamed, yes.
But it to generate itself React component because it's JSX, technically XML.
Yes. That's where we are heading towards. But for now, we just have the invocations. We need to leave like caveman, write our own components, our own tool invocations. That's not going to be happening for long. And I hope everybody is happy now. And just to test this, what is the weather like in New York? Let's see, should be, it's dark, clear night, okay. What is the weather like in San Fran? You see, I tried to confuse it. Anyway, it just works amazingly. So I guess if I was a betting man, I would say that probably we need like local time, pass the local time, and then we just return that local time, and then that's just the local time, which we need to put here. Local time, and then I guess that still wouldn't work because it doesn't know what the current local time is, but we can create a tool for that, right? So, I mean, let's take that as an exercise for the next time and maybe work on that until we get to meet next time. So I guess this is what I wanted to show you. Let me go back to my slides. So you can find this demo online. It's actually stolen from the Next.js conference, but don't tell anyone. But yeah, it was a very cool workshop, learned a lot and talked a bit about the future of this AI package. And you're absolutely right. That's the direction they're heading into, just generating the components on the fly. And then you can just be a prompt person instead of being a tab person.
I mean, that's what A0 does, right? They're trying just to do the same.
Yes, exactly. Basically, yes. But if there's one thing to take away from this demo presentation talk is Ai Ninja dai la porta. Basically, it means that you need to know AI. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes.
Can you tell your AI friend to translate this saying in English to explain it to a non-Romanian speaking person?
No. Doesn't work that way. However, I did want to try one more thing, and for that I need like a show of hands. So, is there anyone here who hasn't used AI before? Can we have a show of hands? AI, OpenAI. No, not you, man. Okay, let's rephrase it. Do we have any non-engineers in the room? Yes, I see a hand over there. Okay, so do you wanna just try maybe something? You just need to code. So Yeah, basically, I mean, the thing that I want you to take away from all this thing, like this AI package is great, it's amazing, but I think like the bigger thing that you need to be paying attention to, if you don't already, is just like these models that got like very, very good, these agents that help you write the code, that help you refactor the code. Of course, it's not always perfect, like we saw in the example before, but you still need to be an engineer to realize like what went wrong, and you don't have to leave the AI to just do its own thing. You need to watch it, you need to understand what it's doing, and then just adapt. And this is basically what agent mode is doing in Cursor. Cursor is like a VS Code fork that's imbued with AI capabilities. It learns from your code base, and then it can just generate code components for you. It can do refactors, and then you can even integrate it with some servers that are called MCP servers. Basically, you have just some tools that are built by the community, for the community, or by various providers. And then these tools are going to be like, okay, get my Jira ticket, and then it's basically just already there. And then you just start your day making a coffee, and then, okay, work on my tickets for today. And then you just watch it, and then you say accept, and then you can take a break for the day. Obviously, not going to work like that. Sorry? I mean, I think that's a different kind of model that you need there that can generate deep fakes, but I'm sure like you can find something. Maybe you can have V0 code some deep fake for you. So why not? But obviously, I'm not encouraging this in any way, shape, or form. Please don't do that. It's bad. Yes.
Is there some tool or package that pairs with this and is recommended to use for RAG to store and retrieve data that you know?
So the way this works is you just import some embed package from here. This embed, I mean, not package, it's a method. Basically, you just pass like the content to the AI. It's going to generate some embeddings for you, and then you just store those embeddings in a data source. That can be like a Postgres database that has support for those. It can be like a specialized database that's just for embeddings. You can store it wherever you want. The thing that this tool will offer, so basically initially you do like embed, and you just pass like whatever you want to embed here, like you specify the model, the value, and so on and so forth. It's going to generate the embeddings, generate embeddings, and then you need to save those embeddings, and then you need to retrieve those embeddings. So after you retrieve the embeddings, I mean, you don't have to retrieve the embeddings. You need to run a query against the embeddings, and you run the query by generating embeddings from your prompt, basically. So the way this works is, let's say we want to generate embeddings for all the, I don't know, comments that we have in the system. And then this is going to return a vector for you. You're going to store this in your database, and then you save it basically. And then you run another query saying like, I want to find all the posts that mention this and this and that. So you're going to extract the embeddings from that, and you're going to use the same method here, which is like embed. You're going to get the embeddings, and you're going to run that query against the database that stores the embeddings, if that makes sense. So it has support for that, but it doesn't offer like a full end-to-end solution because they couldn't do it. You need a server that stores your embedding somewhere.
And the embeddings themselves don't depend on the data that...
The embeddings themselves depend on the model that you use to extract the embeddings. So you cannot use OpenAI to generate the embeddings and then generate the embeddings with DeepSeek for the query. They need to be the same embeddings because otherwise they'll just be random numbers. Yes.
I was just curious, actually in production, what models do you use and how often do you update them?
So we are currently using GPT-4o. We don't have yet that much usage but we are going to switch to Bedrock soon, just because we have a grant from Amazon for a lot of money that we need to spend. So we're just going to embed everything, generate embeddings from everything, and just use that model because it works in a similar fashion. Like Bedrock is just like an interface that allows you to connect to different various other models from AWS. So not only the AWS, they have like a list of models that are supported as well. So you're proxying twice, basically. You wouldn't have to do it. You can do it. Should you do it? I don't know, but this is like a pretty great developer experience, and I don't have to worry too much about it. But I mean, since you asked, let's see, like, okay, let's make maybe this classification thing. Okay, okay.
So
switch
thinking,
to
do you use
Grok
for everything on you, or you have some things you do with
I mean,
Mini and some other things with O1, for example?
yeah. So it depends on the context, like how you write your stuff. So we just started working on AI agentic workflows, basically just defining, I mean, just having an agent understand the customer request, and then once we understand the request, we have like various agents that do various bits, and then once those are done, we go to other agents, and then other agents that are doing this. So it's basically a workflow, and yeah, I mean, I guess once we actually ship these things, like we see like some agents are better for some tasks, and then some other agents are better for some other tasks. So the way you do it, you just like try to see which agent performs best at which task, and then just use that for that particular task. And I think that's all supported in Bedrock, so it should be pretty cool. And yeah, like as you see here, like I just changed like the model for like the classification that we have here. Like it's no longer OpenAI, it's now Grok. So we have this nice load API key error because provide the API key to Grok. Because again, you don't get this by free. You have to pay for the underlying model. The library is free. However, the actual calls to the endpoint are to the API are not free. Come on, just generate my code already. You can see like this agent sees that there are some linter errors, so then like it knows to iterate on the request and just like come up with a different solution because that just doesn't work. Yeah, but I see like searching web, okay, so it failed to come up with a reasonable conclusion. Now it's searching the web for this, and then hopefully it's gonna figure out the solution. If not, I'm gonna have to do it by hand like a caveman. But yeah, as you see, like it's very easy to change provider. So let's do this search. Okay, search web. I mean, I find like this thing very relaxing. You see the thought process, and then you see like, okay, he's doing this thing, pretty cool, pretty nice. And then at the end, you just have to press accept. So rewarding. I don't want you to touch my env, please. I'm just gonna accept. Beautiful. So it's not actually this key because I already have it. I just don't want you to see it. I mean, I'm gonna disable the key. Grok API key.
It doesn't.
It doesn't read M files by default because you can imagine why. But now that it works, beautiful, it's working. Something. Maybe, yeah, maybe I need to do this by hand. And for that, I'm just gonna read the documentation. I'm gonna see, okay, in PorcSci, okay, we got this here, and then we do create Xi. Okay, and then the API key is process.m. Oop. Grok API
Doesn't
key.
Cursor have something to tell him to use the documentation?
Yes, that's a very good point. So what I could do is I could just copy paste this link. I could do like, I can just copy paste it and it's going to know to look and search the documentation for me, because obviously we don't normally read the documentation, because if we would, life would be so much easier. But basically, yeah, you see, it's just working. So yeah, it's all great. Bit slow, I would say, but it works. Cool. Any other questions? Are you just brushing your hair, or you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
One thing to ask, agentic flows are pulling Cursor because you have a capped price for Sonnet 3.7. But
3.7 thinking.
Thinking, yes.
Yes, I don't like the non-thinking
if you
version.
directly use the API with the API key for Sonnet, for example, can you estimate some costs?
I pay $20 a month for Cursor. I sometimes hit the limit, sometimes I don't. I think I started using the agent mode more lately, and I think I'm gonna hit the limits, and I'm gonna pay for a limit increase, and then I'm gonna pay for another limit increase, just because the productivity boost is just like so insane. As you can see, I haven't had to do anything, just write the prompt, just works. Yes, please.
Follow-up question on that. Is all of your input private, or it remains with Cursor?
In theory, it's private. In practice, God knows. Like, you're just sending indexing data to the server. I don't know. Yes.
Question: do they offer licenses for open source software?
Maybe, but they also have like the free mode. So if you go to this thing over here, like I'm on the pro account, there's like another business account. But yeah, like you have this privacy mode, which can be enabled or not. And then you have like this other thing where you can select which models you want to use. And then if you want to go crazy and just host your own like LLM server locally, or you have like a video card that you don't always use for gaming or something like that, you maybe can use it for code completion and generation, and then all your code stays with you. So yeah, that's the other thing. Sorry? Yeah, just do it. It's great. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's making code great again. So yeah, I'm just joking. Don't take me seriously.
You sound confident, just like ChatGPT.
Exactly. That's the whole point. But yeah, like again, thank you all for coming. Please do apply to make presentations. They can be lightning talks, even for like, as you saw today, like obsolete versions of React. It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, just come, share your experience. We'll be cool about it, even if you just use like code from 2022. Yeah, it still works. So why change it if it works, right? Like yeah. So with AI, without AI, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, please apply. We would be very happy to have you on the stage. And yeah, thank you so much again.